Hey there, fellow D&D fans, and happy October. This is Sage of Sorcery, the Dungeon Master for Holy Rollerz, the new cleric-centered D&D live stream show on Twitch that premieres this Thursday, October 4th at 8:30 Mountain Standard Time on the Sage of Sorcery Twitch channel. And I am here with my brother from another mother, JT, who is a member of the cast. JT plays Anduriel. And are we going to tell him what his class is, or are we going to wait for them to find out?
Oh no! I think this is a tease right here. He's special. He's something real special. But you're gonna have to watch to find out.
Yeah, I agree. I think we keep it a secret. Now, the interesting thing about Holy Rollerz, I mean, one of the many interesting things about it is that we are all clerical, but we're not all clerics. JT's character is actually only part cleric. He's multi-class. And the other part, we're not going to tell you about. We're going to wait until you find out. So we'll do that. But we just wanted to do a couple interviews to let you get to know the cast and maybe get to know their experiences with D&D. So the first thing we'll ask JT is, JT, even though I know the answer, how did you start playing Dungeons & Dragons?
Well, I started playing Dungeons & Dragons really well.
That's true.
No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, this is not. You're like, stop ruining my interview.
That's fine. No. Ladies and gentlemen, we used to have a cast member named JT. We're now moving on to our next interview. No,
you wish short-lived, kind of like that guy in Perfect Strangers that nobody remembers. That's the same. Okay, no. So I was. I went to church with a group of people. You were one of them. You've been doing Dungeons & Dragons for years and years and years and years, right?
Yeah. Practically from the womb.
Practically from the womb. You were DMing from the womb when they put the little thing on your mom's stomach. They heard you like telling stories about trolls and orcs and dragons, right?
It's a distinct. Well, I don't know. When they cut the umbilical cord, dice may have rolled out. I don't know. It's not been corroborated. I'm just saying.
I don't want to misstate anything here.
No. You don't want to misrepresent.
Okay, but anyways, so group of people and we were all going to the same church, LDS Church, Mormon Church, for the people who aren't really familiar. Anyways. So you and I became best friends in that ward, right? In that area.
Yeah.
And that was a great experience. However, at one point you came to me and you said, "Hey, what do you think about Dungeons & Dragons?" And you kind of were like, "Oh, I don't know how this is going to go," because I'm a big sports fan. I'm a big guy. Like, Dungeons & Dragons is for nerds, guys.
Yeah.
Like, that's how I was.
Yeah.
But I thought, I don't know. Maybe it could be fun. All I know about it is there's Cheetos and Doritos and
Mountain Dew. Yeah.
And your mom's basement, probably. That's kind of what I know about Dungeons & Dragons.
Yeah, and the record should show that we did start playing in a basement.
Yes, but you owned that basement.
I did. It was not my mother's basement. Not that invalidates it for those of you who do play in your mother's basement. There ain't no shame in that game. But continue.
Room for everyone.
Exactly.
So anyways, we got together with a group from that area, 4 of us there were, and just started playing. And you were really gracious and helped, because there was two rookies, myself and another person, and you helped us along really well. And I just kind of caught the bug from there.
Yeah, I think so too. So can I describe to the audience your face when I invited you the first time to play D&D, or should we just move past that? What do you like?
If it's possible to paint with words that face, you try.
Maybe you can make the face. Maybe you can make the face. Like, can you recreate? I'm like, hey, JT, have you ever heard of D&D? I think this is what I said to you. I said, you are a born role player. And you went, yeah. And I think in your head were going all kinds of things. I think you were, yeah, exactly. I think you actually told me you were trying to think of people to replace you, like from the first night that we went to play.
Yes. What about the guy that works at 7-Eleven? He'd probably be interested.
Yeah, Paulie. Right? Hey, why not invite Paulie? There's nothing wrong. Yeah. So, well, then you actually liked it. So, what is your favorite part of D&D, and when did you know that you were kind of hooked, or are you hooked?
My favorite part of Dungeons & Dragons is becoming part of a story, and usually it's a really compelling story. I've only ever had one DM, and it's you. And to your credit, it's usually a really, really interesting story. Okay. And so to actually become a part of that story is a lot of fun. I love reading books. I love reading all kinds of books, but fantasy books, Tolkien and things like that. Harry Potter. Love Harry Potter. But to actually be a character within that and within a compelling story, That's what I really, really enjoy. There's camaraderie. There's snacks.
There are
There's
snacks. Yeah. Should we tell them about the green gummy frogs, or is that?
Oh, those will probably make an appearance on the channel too. So let's save that one as well.
Good call.
But again, it's the camaraderie, getting together with people, but then also again becoming a character in a story that's really, really cool.
Yeah, I like that part too. So I remember that you at one point you were talking when you hit your new congregation, because we're still part of the same church, but we don't attend the same congregation anymore.
Right.
You told me that when you got there, you kind of let the inner geek out and let people know, like JT was no longer in that particular closet, and so you actually got invited to join somebody else's group, right?
Exactly. So I was very surprised because I was like, I was doing a lesson on some gospel related thing, some spiritual thing, and during the lesson, I mentioned our Dungeons and Dragons group, which kind of shows you the depth and the breadth of what Dungeons and Dragons can do, right?
Yeah.
And so, anyways, let the cat out of the bag, let my inner nerd, my nerd flag fly a little bit. And for the services, I had 4 or 5 people coming up. Hey, I didn't know you D&D too. We got a game going on. You want to join? I'm like, sorry, boys, I'm spoken for already. Yeah. But I was flattered to get there. Very flattered, and it was very cool to see other people kind of say, "Hey, me too."
Yeah. There's a me too you could jump on right there. So that's
that's a good one.
That's a good one to jump on. So yeah, it's kind of awesome. In fact, I remember you said to me that eventually you think you probably will join another group at some point, right? Maybe be part of another game, or a few years after Holy Rollerz, whatever. But so it's something you see yourself continuing to do then?
Well, I don't want to sound like the, I don't know, I'm waiting for the right one, I wouldn't be opposed to joining another group. It's been a lot of fun.
Cool.
And maybe eventually down the road, dipping my toe in the waters of DM, having, follow the example of the great one here and see what I can do.
Well, I think you're cut out for it. And, that's one of the things that's going on in the D&D community right now is everybody is, kind of starting to accept or embrace the idea that you don't have to be a rules expert to be a dungeon master. Like, you just have to have a story, and right. You can steal somebody else's story. I mean, it's, I remember Shelly Mazanoble, who's the brand manager for Dungeons and Dragons. She actually started dungeon mastering. She was terrified. She full on ambushed her friends. They came to a dinner party and she was like, "Oh," and she lays the game out and they're all like, So she had them fighting the Kardashians, and they were like, and as soon as she
coming to dinner.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. So she has them fighting the Kardashians, and she lays them out, and they're throwing like bags of flaming poo, and they're telling the character Draggers are so last season. And anyway, so yeah,
of course.
I think at some point you're going to get a story in your head, and you're going to know that there's only going to be one way to get that story out, and it's going to be on the table. So that
roll an initiative. You got to roll an initiative.
Awesome. So why did you agree to be a part of Holy Rollerz? Because this is a different beast.
First and foremost, just because of our friendship. That was kind of the main thing. Was like, I've got my friend here. He's saying he's got this thing he's really excited about.
Oh yeah.
And if you're really excited about it, odds are I'm going to think it's pretty cool too, right?
Right, yeah.
We're the same people that go to every Marvel movie together. Opening day, we're there. We're like,
yeah.
And I've got my popcorn and you've got your bags full of candy that you sneak in the theater.
One pocket here, one pocket there. Yeah. Passing around. We're hushing the teenagers in the theater. Like, you can get excited, teenagers, but don't you cover up the Hulk's lines. Like,
yeah. And to the level where the people at the theater know us by name, like, hey guys, anyways, so that's us, and that's the first thing. But then when you explain kind of what it was all about, I was like, that's really, really fascinating. This is Dungeons and Dragons, but it's kind of a proof that it's for everyone. Like, everyone always says this is for everyone, right? But rarely do you have a chance to actually prove it.
Yeah.
There's room for everybody. There's room for somebody who's a little more conservative in their views of the world. And there's room for people who are more liberal with their views in the world. And I think the concept that, hey, we've got a group of liberal people playing as clerics, and we're going to have a lot of fun, and we're going to be just as we're going to enjoy ourselves just as much, and we mean as much to the community as anybody else.
Yeah. I think we have a place. Well, we're at the end of our 10 minutes here, so let's finish up. If you would tell us your favorite D&D anecdote, or maybe your favorite moment for your character, whether that was killing Aldemer, or whether it was a shed, or whether it was a chandelier falling. What's your favorite D&D anecdote, or the one that you want to share with our viewers?
Okay, so there was a character called Aldemer, right? I was going to do the chandelier one, but this was so sweet. So this guy, every turn, I played, I guess he wasn't a wizard. Like, what would you call him? I'm still...
Aldemer?
Yeah, no.
Dresden is he's a warlock scion.
He's a warlock scion. So
yeah,
Aldemer is a wizard, kind of the same as me, and we both use scion powers. We're ranged attacks. But anyways, he was my foil, and I think he wrote him that way. Every time we had an encounter, this guy would find a way to either kill everybody around us, or no fail, he would find a way to weasel out and get away right before he was dead, before. And he had this magic hat, and he'd throw this magic hat, and it would turn somebody, it would turn him invisible. No. It made him prone. Yeah. It made him prone for the whole round or whatever, and they took damage, and it was just a nasty thing. Yeah. And people in our group got hit by that thing. So anyways, we get to this one round, and I have this power called Far Hand, and he's beat up pretty bad. I see the opportunity to finish Mr. Aldemer, and so it's not good enough just to finish the man.
No.
I hand his hat over onto him, and I get him in his own hat. I felt so good about that, and that day, Aldemer died.
It did.
And I don't celebrate death generally, but that was a good one.
That was a good one. Well, and the great thing about it was Aldemer, the way it happened to Aldemer flew up to the top of the battlements of a keep, and he thought he was safe up there raining death from above. But what he didn't know is that you had recently taken a teleport gate power. So he thought he was safe. He thought he was safe. And then all of a sudden, Dresden opens up a gate and teleports up there, and you finished him off on the castle battlements. It was very dramatic.
And it was one of those moments where I think probably every D&Der has this moment where you look down at your sheet, and then you look up, and you're like, oh yeah, I've got the thing for this one.
I got the goods. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. All right. Well, that is the end of our 10 minutes. I wish we could go longer, but JT is going to be recording his podcast. Would you want to tell him about that?
Yeah, I have a podcast. It's called Fan Made with JT, and the basic premise is it's a fan podcast made for fans by a fan. You don't have to be an expert. You don't have to be someone who's in the know. Everybody's opinions is valid, and we talk sports. I just did an episode where we used 45 minutes on Disneyland. You and I have done an episode about D&D. It's a little bit about what the fan experience is like for people, what being a fan of something means to people. And I really think it's fascinating. So yeah, Fan Made with JT.
Yeah, so it's on Facebook. It has a Facebook page, and I think he's on Twitter. What's your Twitter handle if people want to get a hold of you?
Fanmade, or at JT Fanmade is the Facebook page. Okay. And then if you go on Spreaker, the Spreaker actually hosts the podcast, and you can search for Fanmade and you'll find me.
Okay, awesome. All right, well, JT will be premiering as Anduriel up here on the on our Holy Rollerz stream on Thursday. So, JT, I will see you again on Thursday, and good luck with your recording, because you're going to record Fanmade tonight. And until then, do you have any parting words or?
No, I look forward to the launch on Thursday of Holy Rollerz. I look forward to becoming Anduriel, and I look forward to just getting this going. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Okay, awesome. All right, to the viewers, we say have a good night and happy October. Remember, there are more of us than there are of them now. Bye-bye.